One of the things that's new for this election is that voters can submit their absentee ballots at polling sites, both during early voting and on Election Day. We're going to go through how it will work and what the responsibilities are for coordinators, inspectors, and chairs. All poll workers need to know about it and how it works because you're likely to get questions about it from people you know even before voting starts. The interest in absentee drop off, of course, stems from concerns about being exposed to COVID and mistrust of the post office. Absentee voting was expanded for this year's elections so that people who feel they are particularly vulnerable to COVID could stay at home and still vote. Now, with the recent reports of post office slowdowns, many people want a way to submit their ballot without relying on the mail and without having to spend time waiting online in a polling place. So, ballot drop off bins are Nassau's answer to drop boxes. Every polling place will have an absentee ballot drop off bin. It will be the coordinator's job to set it up, but all poll workers will be responsible for knowing the rules and keeping an eye on it when you're not needed at your table and are assisting the coordinators. Each polling place will have an additional DS200, which will be used for the deposit of absentee ballot envelopes. It will be different from the other DS200s in the poll site, though, because we are removing the scanner before we send it, so it will be basically an empty shell. The top, where the scanner usually is, will be locked down and sealed, and the body will be modified so that when the absentee ballot envelope is placed in the slot, it will drop down into the ballot bag in the bottom of the machine. This is very different from the DS200s used for voting. In those machines, the slot leads to a self-contained secure box, like a safety deposit box. The sign in this slide is not exactly what you will see on Election Day, but there will be a sign that's similar. Now, just a minute ago, I said the bin is for deposit of absentee envelopes, and that's really important. No naked ballots are to go into the absentee ballot drop-off bin. Voters should only be dropping off their sealed, signed envelopes with their ballots inside. As part of their setup responsibilities, the coordinators will position and set up the drop-off bin and close it down at the end of the night. But it's important for all poll workers to be aware of these procedures because there are only two coordinators, and if one of them is missing in the morning, an inspector or chair from their party will need to fill in and help get everything set up. In addition, you know that inspectors and chairs will be helping the coordinators when you're not needed at your table. As part of helping, you may be called upon to staff the entrance, and then you'll be keeping an eye on the drop bin. Written instructions and the report for the absentee drop-off bin will be in the coordinator's purple bag. Before starting to set up the bin, you'll fill in the top of the report. First, you'll fill in the name of the polling place. Then you'll fill in the lowest numbered election district in the polling place. Here, in this slide, the lowest number is 221-115. Finally, you will go as a team to that table and get the name of the chair, which you'll neatly enter on the report. You'll need to find that chair at the end of the night when you're closing down the bin because they will be bringing the contents of the bin to the police. We'll talk about that in a minute. You may borrow keys for the DS200 from the chair when you are setting up and closing down the absentee ballot bin. Once the top of the report is filled out, the coordinators will take the absentee ballot drop bin to the appropriate location and lock the wheels. The bin should go just inside the entrance to the poll site. It should go in a location that will allow voters to enter and deposit their envelopes without walking through the site or waiting online. It's important to make sure it's in a spot that won't impede traffic in and out of the site, and that you keep an eye on it during the day. Make sure to lock the wheels. Now, let's talk a minute about seals. Now, obviously, these aren't the kind of seals we need to talk about, but the topic of seals is very important. The seals you will apply to the ballot bin and the record you make of them will ensure that all the ballots are collected and that nothing is tampered with. Especially because of all the doubts that have been raised in the media about absentee voting, this is a very important part of the job. As coordinators, this is what the seals you'll be using look like. They are white strap seals, and each one has a unique barcode stamped on it with a number. You will be using these strap seals when setting up the absentee ballot bin. closing it down at the end of the night, and when you close up the ballot bag full of absentee ballots at the end of the night so that it can be brought to the Nassau County Police. Follow the written instructions to set up the absentee ballot bin. The first thing you'll do is open up the slot where the envelopes will be submitted. First, unlock the bin door, then put down the flap that covers the slot, then, with the slot open, close the door and lock it. To preserve the integrity of this compartment and make sure it can't be tampered with, you will apply a strap seal and record the seal number on the ballot bin report. Next, you will unlock the bottom of the machine, which is the ballot bin. As a team, you will open the door and confirm there are no ballots in the bin at the start. All you should see is an empty blue ballot bag, which will catch the ballot envelopes as they're submitted. After checking that, you will close the door, lock it, apply a strap seal, and record the seal number on the report. During the day, at least one of you will be stationed close to the entrance at all times to greet voters, ensure they're wearing face coverings, and direct them to the correct table to sign in. Since you'll be close to the entrance to do that, you'll also be able to keep an eye on the bin as voters walk in and deposit their absentee envelopes in the open slot. The voters don't have to report to you or show you their envelope or wait in any line. They can walk in, drop their envelope in the slot, and then leave. During the day, you are not to open the ballot bin for any reason. At the end of the night, at 9 p.m. or after all voters in the poll site at 9 p.m. have voted, the two coordinators together will close down the absentee ballot bin, starting with closing the voting slot. You will remove the seal and record the seal number, unlock the slot door, close the slot by putting up the flap, close and lock the door, and apply and record a new strap seal. This is how we ensure that no one can add a ballot after the poll is closed. Next, the team of coordinators will open the ballot bin at the bottom. First, you will remove the seal and record the seal number, and then unlock the bin. The two coordinators together will carefully remove the ballot bag and make sure no ballot envelopes are left in the bin. The bin will then be closed and locked, a new strap seal added, and the seal number recorded on the report. Again, this is how we ensure that no one can add a ballot envelope after the poll is closed. Next, the two coordinators will take a strap seal that will be used to seal the ballot bag, record the seal number on the report, but don't seal up the bag just yet. Together, the two coordinators will take the ballot bag to the transporting chair they identified earlier in the day. Each of them will sign the report, the two coordinators and the chair, and then the report will be placed in the ballot bag. Now, in the presence of the three of you, the bag will be sealed shut. Be sure to pull the seal tightly to make sure the bag is securely and tightly shut. The two coordinators should remain with the ballot bag until the transporting chair is ready to leave for the police with his or her table's blue bag, their red data bag, and now the ballot bag as well. At that point, the coordinators can finish their duties, with their final job being to ensure the red supply cart is locked. If you have any questions about these steps, or any questions at all on Election Day, please call the Board of Elections at the number on your phone chart.